you can live a life in flow where your deepest heart's desires become reality. At Set to Love, we offer strategies and ideas on how you can stay out of crazy town. See, your human experience is meant to be lived with meaning, purpose, and creativity. You are here to contribute through your essence. We are best friends, moms, entrepreneurs, and above all, find our flow in assisting you to find yours. We come together weekday mornings to bring you ideas to fall deeper in love with your life and the journey that you are on. Take what works and ditch the rest, and always stay set to love. Thank you for being a part of this community. We're all designed to live in flow. So let's go. Good morning, Set to Love community. I am Eva Payne here with our friend and guest, Shelley Henk. My best friend, Shelley, is driving down to go be with her daughter, and she got a new iPhone, and she is not tech savvy, and nothing is working. So she calls me panicking. I can't get anything to work. I said, don't worry about it. It's all right. We've got Shelley Henk with us today. So welcome. Good morning, friend. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good. How was your Christmas?
Lovely. Yes, it was awesome. And now I'm ready for the new year.
I'm ready for the new year too. And we are talking about beginning to build the dream. You have been on this journey of helping people to really build their dreams. And I want to talk about that with you today and let our audience know what they can do to start to build their dreams. So, Shelley Henk, tell me a little bit more about this.
Yeah. So I'm a dreamer. I love to dream dreams. I love to build dreams. I think that it's just who I am. And it's a gift that I have to help people build their dreams, whether it be their dream physical life, their dream financial life, and all of the dreaming begins with your mind and the imagination. And I love, Eva, that you say you partner with creativity because, I mean, right? Like creativity is our highest commodity. Imagination is our highest commodity, I believe. And I just was born to create. And so I love to share that creative mindset with people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm doing.
That. I love that. Steve Jobs talks a lot about innovation, imagination, creativity, and really put those things very high on his list as far as with his employees and with the people who help to create like the iPhone and all that different Apple products. And he just, I mean, it's really what makes humans, I think, so special. I think if aliens are real and out there, I think they would look down at us and just be in awe of all the stuff that we create. I mean, look at everything around us. Every single thing that we see that is not of nature was thought of, like you said, first, comes from our minds first. And then it's like the impossible task sometimes of taking it from our minds and bringing it into the world. That's a little bit more of a challenge. Imagining things isn't as hard for someone like me, but then actually manifesting it or taking the steps required to make it real is a little bit more of a challenge. So how does someone do that?
Yeah. Yeah, imagine and then manifest, right? Like that's the key. And that's how everything that exists in the world was created. Like if it's not made by the creator, then it's made by a creation, like we create it. So I love the terminology, like God doesn't make chairs, he makes trees. Right? We make chairs, he makes trees. Like it's different. And I think that we get that confused sometimes. Like we think that like this thing is just going to drop into our lap and like the right opportunity and the right thing is just going to fall in our lap, and it's not. We have to build it. We have to get the dream and then manifest the dream that we see behind our eyes, and using the resources that already exist in the world. So, mindset, in my opinion, you need three things, right? You need mindset, you need mentorship, and you need to make it happen. Like flat out, just make it happen. That's the only way to manifest. So it starts with mindset because what you believe means everything. right?
Mhm.
As a man thinks, so is he. What you think is how you're going to show up in the world. So if you don't think you're creative, like you've been given the same power that Steve Jobs has been given.
Right. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same power. It's the same power.
Okay.
Okay.
If you say so.
You have to be tapped into, right, that power source. And um, that's where all creative things come from.
Mhm.
Okay. So uh, that's a belief system. So what if you, Eva, were to believe that you had the same creative power that Steve Jobs has?
What if? Well, let me tell you what, there would be a lot of really cool things in the world. I would just have to find really smart people to actually manifest it because the idea part is not my problem. It's
Right.
just, what do I do with this idea? I have 100 ideas a day. It's
Oh, yeah.
sorting through them all, picking one out that I go, oh, you are the special pearl that I'm going to nurture.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
the path I'm going to go down.
Yeah.
That is more challenging. For me, it's
So
not so much the ideas, it's then
the
picking the one
clarity.
out and then yes, and then like you said, the mentorship part of going, okay, let's go
Mhm.
down this road.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point because you have to get the clarity
Mhm,
first before you manifest. And that's why a lot of people don't spend enough time, in my opinion, on the clarity stage. You have to build it in your brain, in your
mhm,
imagination before you've built it on the earth. Like you have to know, you have to be able to see it with your mind's eye. Like Walt Disney. He died before Disney was built, but he
mhm.
saw Walt Disney. He saw the Disney World,
Yeah, Disneyland, yeah,
Disneyland before he died
right.
because he saw it in his mind's eye first. He had complete clarity on what he was doing. Then he could find the right people to help him build it because you're not like you actually don't have to know how to do all the things. You just have to have the clarity and then go find the people that can help you manifest it.
You know what? That's exactly what I did with the nonprofit when I started it. I could see the summer camp. I mean, I didn't know exactly what it was going to look like, but I could see the people. I could see us there. Once I went to see the facility we were going to rent, then it became even more clear, more defined. And then it was really just about finding the people with the skill set to be able to help bring it to fruition.
Yeah.
So I definitely understand what you mean by being able to see it. Sometimes getting that clarity though, when you do have so many different ideas or so many things you want to create, then that it's hard to decide, do I put a little bit of time into each or do I just put everything into one? And then of course, the thing that holds you back sometimes, or for me at least, it's like, but what if this one thing I'm picking isn't the right one? What if I was supposed to pick this one and instead I picked this one and I spend all this time manifesting this when if I would have picked this? So we play these games with our minds and sometimes that just holds us back from doing anything. Like you
That's
said.
a form of resistance.
Mm,
That's just resistance. That's it. And you have to recognize it for what it is.
mhm,
So resistance will keep you confused and unclear.
mhm,
And as long as resistance can keep you uh, sort of wishy-washy, undecided, double-minded, right? Like
mhm.
nothing's going to happen. That's the point of resistance, is to confuse you and disillusion you.
So
It's very tricky. Resistance is very tricky.
it is tricky. So
Mhm.
how do you figure out that one thing then? So what would you say to someone who said, "Okay, I have 3 things." Let's just say there's 3 things that I'm really excited about in 2021 that I
Mhm.
might want to start or I might want to build or I might want to create.
Yeah.
What would you ask that person or what kind of questions would you say to help them find clarity on, do we need the one thing or can we pursue all 3? We, me, someone.
Yeah.
And then where do you go from there?
Well, one thing I would say is there's some things that can give you clarity. I mean, there's times when you just have the vision and it's just like, right? But
Yep.
it's not always like that. And if it's a situation where you're unclear, one of the things that I would suggest is to write your obituary,
Okay.
write your eulogy. Okay.
Yep.
What do you want people to stand at your funeral and thank you for?
Mm.
That'll bring some serious clarity to you. If you were going to die in 1 year, you knew you had terminal cancer, you knew you were going to die in 1 year. What is the thing that needs to be manifested on the earth before you leave?
Hmm. Wow. That'll push you to make a choice
Mhm.
because you don't have years to just
Mm-mm.
ponder between different ideas.
No.
You got to pick one, right?
Yeah.
And then
And there's
and start
stories of
doing
people
it.
with cancer, right, that have like they've developed cancer and they had a terminal diagnosis. And then all of a sudden they were like, screw the corporate job, screw this. I'm moving to the beach. I'm writing the book. I'm doing the thing. And guess what? Their cancer magically goes away.
Right, because they're so much happier, right? And doing what they love and their focus isn't on being sick, it's focused on creating and bringing more beauty in the world, and then that just changes your mind, changes your body, changes the way you show up and wake up
Everything.
every day. That makes perfect sense. I
Yeah.
totally get.
So that's one thing I would say. The second thing I would say is what will create the most financial impact for you? So, because
Mm,
you have to have time to create, you have to have time and money to manifest the things that you want to manifest on the earth.
okay.
That's just the bottom line.
Mhm.
Nobody likes to talk about money, but every dream needs a budget,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And so if you are a big dreamer and you have like a list of 10 things that you're like, man, I would really like to do all 10 of these things before I die. Do
Mhm.
the thing that's going to free your time up the most and your finances up the most first.
Okay, okay.
Because now you've got some abundance flowing. You've got your time rich, right? You need to be time rich to create your dreams because if you're spending 40 to 60 hours a week doing something that's not in alignment with who or what you want to be, then that's stealing, you know, time and
Yeah,
money in a
absolutely.
way from you. So, if you can create the time abundance and the financial abundance and get that flowing, create the first thing. And
Mhm.
then that's going to free up the time, energy, money to do the second thing. Like one of the things that I want to do is I want to like create more art. I want to sell art. I want to commit. I want to be commissioned to do independent works of art. Okay. But that's not the thing that's going to bring me the most time freedom and the most money freedom right away.
Okay, right, right, because you need to build up a name or whatever, get your Etsy store up or whatever it is that you're gonna do, right? Put it in
Right.
galleries, things like that, right? So you're
Right.
doing something else in the meantime, but that doesn't take up a crazy amount of your time, so
Mhm.
that way you can then pursue your painting or drawing or whatever as much as possible. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because everything in the world works in seed form. It's the law of sowing and reaping.
Okay,
You
and do you wanna
you've got
explain that really quick?
so you have to sow time or money into something to get something back.
Okay.
Energy, right? Time and money is energy. You have to
Yeah.
sow energy into something to get something back from it.
Okay.
So it's like we are dream farmers.
Yes,
I'm a
dream
dream farmer.
farmers. I love it.
And we think that we're going to have a dream harvest, right, without sowing a dream seed. You're not. That's like an
Mhm.
illusion. You have wishful thinking. That's like fantasy.
Right. It's like I do so like winning the lottery. You think it's just going to bink and just you're going to be that lucky one that it just happens for. You
Yeah,
put
you're going to win the
one
dream
video and it goes viral. You make one painting and it sells for $1 million. You
yeah,
you create that widget and everyone wants it, all of a sudden.
yeah,
Okay, so that's
not
not realistic.
not
Is what
realistic.
you're
No,
saying.
no, no, no. The other thing I would say is get really abundantly clear on who who it is you're here to serve.
Mm, okay. For sure, for sure. What need are you filling?
Yeah,
Why
what
are
need you
you
filling?
doing it?
Because there's a gift, right? That's in you.
Mhm.
That's your seed to the world. Think of it like that. You're a seed. A
Okay.
seed is a solution to a problem. That's inside of you. The world, people in the world have a need. They're hungry. They want to be fed. Okay? Think of it like that. When
Yes.
your gift, dream, however you want to say it, and their need, somebody else's need collide, you've just given birth. You've just manifested a dream.
That's so beautiful and such a great way to look at it. I love that. Like we are a seed and we are here to feed someone else's need.
Yeah, your seed is
Yay!
not about you. Like, you did not come to the earth to serve yourself. That's not why you're here.
True. We do learn and evolve along the way. There
We
is
do.
a benefit to us as well, but you're right. You're here to contribute to someone else's life.
Yeah,
And
and out of that overflow, right? Like, if you're feeding others, you get to eat too.
mm, so
If you
that is so true.
you know?
Especially when you're doing something that you love,
Yeah.
especially when you're tapping into your dream, your gifts, your essence, because
Mhm.
then that's where like I think a lot of self-confidence comes from. That's where people really start to feel that like, oh, I can do this, just with one person saying, thank you so much, or I so needed that, or that was exactly that made my day, or whatever. Then you
Yep.
go, oh, okay, I just added value to someone's life. And that's where
Yes.
self-confidence is built truly, I
Yeah,
think, in
yeah.
showing up and being of value to someone else and in their life.
Totally, totally. Which so that brings me to my next thing is you need mentorship.
Yes.
Coaching, 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 coaching. If you don't have like built-in networks of like people that are awesome, creating big things in the world and whatever, you need a coach. You
Mhm.
need a coach. You need some type of mentorship because you are so close to your own genius. You are so close to your dream. You see it as ordinary, not extraordinary.
Mm. Wow.
It's like your
And
coach
you
is
you
the
got
mirror.
fear. You can be held back
Right.
by your own fears and your own insecurities, and it's not good enough and this. So to have someone to kick your butt along the way,
Mhm.
to be the David Goggins in your ear, like, let's go, you got
Yeah.
this. Not everyone needs that kind of a coach. Maybe
Yeah.
people need different kind of coaches, but I
Different.
need that, like, you got this, let's go
Yeah, and
kind of
somebody
person.
to celebrate you with your wins, right,
Yeah.
along the way, like your minor milestones and your major milestones, somebody to, hold up a mirror to you to show you what you truly look like, the good and the bad, like, if your hair's sticking up all crazy, your coach is gonna be like, your hair's looking crazy, honey," right? But also, a mirror is also to show you where it's beautiful, like, "Ooh, eyebrows on point today," whatever. I mean,
Yes.
I'm making it silly, but, imagine
Right.
Michael Jordan without a coach. Who would Michael Jordan be without
Mhm.
his coaches?
Right.
We would not know Michael Jordan. We would not see that dream birthed.
Right. Right. You're right. You're right.
So, to think that you can do it alone in your closet by yourself, you're gonna wander around for way longer than you might get it done, but it'll take you twice as long, twice as much money, if it ever even does manifest.
You're right. So true. Okay, give me your third point. So we need to have you back for sure. Well, of course, you're like our staple guest now. But I want to know your third point because we're at 18 minutes. So
Make it happen.
make it happen. Yeah.
Make it happen. So, get clarity,
Okay.
get the picture, get a
Yes.
mentor.
Yes.
Now, you've got the picture, you've got the mentor. Now you're gonna reverse engineer this thing. You're gonna backwards is beautiful, right? That's the name of the book that I'm writing
I love it.
because, um, you gotta go to the end.
Yeah.
You gotta
Begin
go to
with
the
the
end.
end in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go to the end and you gotta work backwards, and you have to say, "Okay, what is the end result of what it is I want to create?" Right? And that's why I love the idea of going to your eulogy.
Yes, because then you can see it, you can hold it, you can feel it, and then you can say, what steps do I need to do to get there? It's exactly what I did with the camp. I could see it,
Yeah,
I could feel it, I could see everyone having the fun. I didn't know exactly what programs or who the
yep,
people were going to be, but I knew kind of the key components, and then I
yep,
just started filling in
yep.
until we got there. And then I was like, wow, this actually happened. I
Yeah, so
actually
you
did it.
gotta set a deadline, right? So, that's where dreams become goals.
Mhm.
And that's where it's actually gonna manifest because you have to have, like, set a deadline and say, "Okay, by this date,
Yes.
this is my due date of the day I'm gonna birth my dream," right? And if you've got a due date, then that knows that you have certain milestones along the way, just like when we give natural birth. I was
Yes.
a labor and delivery nurse for a lot of years, right? And so that's my jam. And if we look at that birth process, the baby didn't start like on the delivery day. You know, there's milestones along the way that we have to check and go, okay, is the baby growing according to, the on target, right? Are we meeting those parameters? And that's where we start to get ultra strategic. We have certain milestones we have to meet. We have to have the micro wins and the macro wins,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And celebrate everything along the way. That's why you need a coach, because your family, your friends, truthfully, if it's a big dream, they're not going to celebrate you, most likely, unless
Mhm.
they're outside the box thinkers, because they're humans are safety driven.
Mhm.
And so your friends who love you want to keep you safe.
Mm.
And creating big dreams is not necessarily the path to safety. It's a risk. I mean,
Right.
it is a
Right.
risk, right?
Right.
Yeah, there's a risk. They want to keep you safe and small because they want to
Out of
protect you.
love. Out of love
Out of
and
love, out of
concern.
love.
Yeah.
And so do you. So not only are you fighting yourself, you're also fighting your friends and family. That's why
Mm.
you need a coach. And you reverse engineer that thing, and then you create a monthly goal, monthly plan, a
Yeah.
weekly plan, boiling it down to a daily plan, so that you wake up every single day and you know exactly what you're supposed to do as a task on a daily basis,
Mhm.
without thinking, no thinking needed. All the creativity's been done, all the dreaming's been done. Now it's just laid out, and then now it's just make it happen. Execute.
Executing on that. Okay, Shelley, I love it. And we're going to be talking about small goals this week. That's one of our episodes. So, chunking big goals down to small goals so they're achievable. So,
Mhm.
that's perfect. Perfect way to end
Yeah.
it. So, Shelley, I know the handle's there, but where can people find you if they need a coach and they
Yeah.
want someone to take them through this dream process of theirs in 2021?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook. It's listed right there, Shelley.Henk.7 on Facebook. I like to keep it simple because I'm making big things in the world and I don't have time to be balancing, all these different platforms. I'm just
Yep.
execute. It's all about executing. I think people get so caught up in the weeds of like making it all look pretty and whatever. Just make it happen.
Yep. Drop into her DMs on Facebook.
Mhm.
That's how I found her. That's how
Yep.
we connected.
DM me. DM me.
And now we're buddies.
Yep.
Well, thank you everyone for being here today on another episode of Set to Love. You can find us online, settolove.com. If you have any questions, we appreciate you. We love you being a part of our community. Thank you so much, Shelley, for being on the show today. I hope my friend Shelley figures out her new iPhone. Her and technology are not friends. And so I love her. I'm sure she's so sad. I mean, this is just like not starting her day off right. I know it, but I want her to know that I love her and I appreciate her and everything's okay. It's all right. Sometimes we just have hiccups in life and we got to roll with those too. So
That's right.
thank you, Shelley Henk, and thanks everyone for being here
Yeah.
today. We will see you tomorrow on another episode of Set to Love.